All right, we are live. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of VI Viral.
Virgin Islands Viral Sport today.
Yeah, we're going in on the sports. We got a bunch of things to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think right now we're all geeked about the fight game.
Yes. So this is going to be what today is going to be about. For those of you that don't know us, this is my cousin Hakim.
And this is my cousin Sidanii.
All right, and we are here. We are VI Viral. So welcome. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Share this video, family and friends.
Button, press the like button.
Push it. Give us a China, man. We trying to go viral for the VI. Go ahead and bye. All right, so we're going to start things off with UFC 290. This past Saturday was an amazing card. I'm going to go down. I know, for me, I'm an MMA fighter. I've got the MMA background. I know this stuff like the back of my hand. Actually, after this, we're going to sit and rewatch the fights so we can get those secondary reactions. Bo Nickel beat Val Woodburn. Val Woodburn is actually a guy.
I like Bo.
Yeah, Bo is good. He's got that wrestling background, but he got a TKO this time. So the thing is, the guy, Val Woodburn, that took this fight, he took the fight on literally 3-4 days notice.
No.
And actually, for those that don't know, my very first fight, I did something like that. I actually took it on 5 hours notice. So I took it on even short, less than a day.
Okay.
So, but
waiting to fight.
so he ends up getting TKO. He loses the fight, but because he took that fight on short notice, he got a 4-fight UFC contract because of that.
That's smart.
So what ended up happening is he came up he was champion in his promotion, came up, took the fight on short notice against Bo, who's a massive prospect. You know, everybody's been talking about Bo because he's got that huge wrestling pedigree, All-American wrestler that's now in the UFC, and then he ends up TKO somebody. So now we see that Bo's striking is starting to come on. So what do you said you like Bo? What do you think of Bo?
I like Bo. I like his wrestling. I like his energy. I like the fact that he's constantly switching. And with a name like Bo, I think that's clearly long.
You don't know Bo.
You don't know Bo. So I think he's I like him. He's a pretty good prospect.
Yeah.
Just we got to see him in action. We got to see him a little bit.
I like Bo too. I think they're pushing him very quickly, and there's a couple different thoughts about how you push a fighter, right? So there's the Sean O'Malley path, which is you're building the big star, the heavy level stardom for a fighter, but it's a slow burn because Sean O'Malley has been at this for a long time, built up. Or you have guys like Hamzat Chimaev who are really good, are fight ready, and they're getting big wins and they jump up in the division very, very quickly. Right, it's 4 or 5 fights that Hamzat shot himself to the top of the division, fighting Gilbert Burns and guys like that, and Gilbert Burns and who else did he fight? And he beat Li Jingliang, like all these guys that he beat so quickly. I think for Bo, he's somewhere in between because his wrestling is so polished. He's a guy where he's able to deal with a lot of the guys in the middle tier of the middleweight division. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to that higher end, he's got to work on his striking. We see that his striking has gotten better, but he was against a guy who was a knockout artist who wasn't truly conditioned for this, took the fight on short notice. So you see some good things from Bo, but I don't think you see enough to say, all right, get him a ranked opponent, So he still has work to do. He still got a lot of work.
He still has work to do. He has to get a few wins under his belt before. But Hamzat is just like, he's like a cannon.
He comes out,
Yeah, he is, and his fire so quick. And his fire is so contagious, and the way he just easily dismantles you.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're thinking about striking, you may get in 2 to 3 punches, and next thing you know, you're smothered,
and he'll still knock you out.
He'll still knock you out, but he's going to smother you, smash you, and choke you out.
That true Dagestani.
Yeah. They train with bears over there.
Yeah, exactly. True enough.
So, I like that whole all of those fighters. I like their style. I like the fact that they're still able to stand up and throw hands, and more to solid fashion. They'll knock you out if need be.
Yeah.
But I love that grinding and grounding out process that they do.
Yeah, I had to school you on DC right quick because you ain't understand He's the type of guy that's able to do that same kind of thing, man. I have to admit.
Okay, so with DC, I came on, obviously, when he came into UFC, he was a little bit heavier. He was trying to make heavyweight. So he was fatter. And you know, I don't know if I have this fat guy thing going on.
Trying to look at you, see how you point out.
But I just don't believe that. I didn't believe that he was that good. And you got to remember, during that span, he took a loss to Johnson. He took a loss to Stipe.
No, Stipe and Jones. Yeah. He lost it. He lost to Johnny. He lost to Stipe.
And you know, so I didn't really see his earlier career. So obviously he sat and schooled me, and I'm like, wow, this dude is incredible.
Yeah.
So I've changed my stance. DC, I apologize. It was all
pioneer, forefather when it comes to that ground of town grind. Yeah,
I just loved all your takedowns, the way you was sweeping and cooking feet. I was like, oh, this guy's just
the way he tossed. Yeah, so I apologize, DC, Dan Henderson, whatever. Yeah, not Barnett, bro. Whatever accolades that you have, ragdoll grown men, bro. The ragdoll, whatever accolades you have, you've earned them. I apologize.
Yeah, you actually are a textbook.
Yeah. Oh, man, bro.
Yeah, so with that being said, yeah, and at least I didn't go public and say,
this was just between me and him. I was like, he's all right. That guy who just does the stuff. He found out all too quickly. Yeah, that's not the case.
As soon as and DC, this guy loves you.
The minute I said that, he was like, blasphemy. Immediately went to YouTube. I would say within 8 minutes. Oh, whoa. What am I talking about? Yeah, what am I saying right? Guy's a beat. DC's the man. Yeah, man. All right, who else was on the card? Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker got the W, bro. You got to watch this fight. I know you haven't seen this fight. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Doesn't Hooker train with Izzy? Yeah, no, Izzy and them. Yeah, he trains with Izzy and Volk over there. Yeah, it's over in okay, so he got the victory over Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner he's a 6'2", 6'3", crazy prospect. 13-7, yeah, but the thing is, but he was coming into his own, right? And so the thing is, and so this was a fight where Dan Hooker is, he's still in that top 10, top 15 range. Mm-hmm. This was Jalen Turner's opportunity to really come up and show that he can hang with the top 10 of the lightweight division, which is arguably the hardest division in the UFC. Mm-hmm. And it was a absolute hard-fought war between these two guys. Dan Hooker broke his wrist and fractured his jaw and still got the W. His face was he fractured his jaw and broke his wrist. What? In the second round, apparently, he broke his wrist and still won this fight. Dan Hooker is a person who should be up for the actual BMF. Because he's the type of guy like, I will die to win this fight. Like, people talk about it. When there's some unfortunate losses. Like, yeah, no, he lost to Michael Chandler when Chandler first came in. He had a string of losses. So this is one of the. But he was hyped when he originally came. Yeah. So like, did they bowl him? Well, no. I wouldn't say they bowled him. The thing about Dan Hooker is he's really good. But the thing is, like, for example, let's see his last few fights. Because the thing about Dan is, he actually
23-12-0.
Yeah, so he lost Jalen. He beat Jalen Turner, and then he also beat Claudio Puelles. That was his fight before.
Yeah.
And then so he's now starting to string together a couple of wins, but he lost to Arnold Allen, who ended up losing to Arnold Allen. Actually lost to Matt.
And he lost him in the first round. He got knocked out.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Like those things are gonna happen.
You see, that's the one thing with MMA that is not tolerated in traditional boxing, and this is where him and I we were butting you up.
He lost. A guy would be like 17-11. Oh, but he's great. I'm like, dude, he lost 11 times. And the thing is,
not exist.
Right, but you're out at it because boxing is one-dimensional, right? And there are styles of boxing, but boxing is, that this person's throwing hands. With MMA, you can encounter a guy that is a good striker. You can got a discount. You're right. He's a good wrestler. Yeah, there's so many aspects to it. So part of it too is some people they take a lot of fights a little too early, or they're not as prepared for fights. They get losses, and some people are just getting their ass.
They're not anywhere.
Yeah, rare. Exactly. Now, but there's certain guys, like you look at guys like John Jones, you look at guys like DC. Look at guys like Izzy who are taking on the best of the best in their divisions, and they still have really, really good. Like John Jones is actually he's undefeated. Izzy has 2 losses on his record, but you have guys like that because you have to understand.
Big guy that Izzy tried to go up and
Jan Blachowicz. He actually is going to fight Alex Pereira coming up on UFC 292.
Yeah, Blachowicz? Was it?
Jan Blachowicz.
Blachowicz.
Jan
Blachowicz.
The Polish. They call it the Polish power.
Yeah, he was a little bit too much for.
Yeah, and it showed that that pressure style. If you can grapple, if you can really get a hold of Izzy, it's very easy to deal. He's very easy to deal with, especially if you're big.
Listen. I just want to let you know he feels like he can beat Izzy.
Listen. When I get back in the cage, look, I'm a better grappler than he is. Categorically, I will say that I have no problem saying I'm a better grappler than he is. Neither here nor there.
Listen, I love look. I love his confidence. Okay, I remember years ago I went up to Tim Hardaway and told him I'll bust your ass. I really believed it. I really believed that I'll bust Tim Hardaway. Don't cook this nigga. He walked and followed me for the rest of the night. Like, oh, bust you. He was so tight. That shows you the level of confidence. Every time he saw me for the rest of the night, he was on me like, little mother F out. Oh, wow. Bust you. Why you said that to me?
But yeah, I mean, look, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But at the same time, you have what was I just saying? We talk about guys who have fought that high level of competition when it comes to their losses on their record.
It's gonna have it like Masvidal.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Jorge Masvidal, he's got a bunch of losses on his record.
Exactly.
And I think he's mid. I think he just blew up after. I love that attitude. Yeah, I love that attitude.
I like
marketable.
Like that. What is it? Raw made. What is this slogan?
What, game bread?
Game bread. I just like all of that. But if we really get to it,
he's mid, bro. Like Cam, Nate Diaz,
knocked out by Colby.
You know, yeah.
Oh, listen, but once again, a very good fighter. We love his moxie.
Yeah, so that's a good way to play. His moxie, his bravado, his attitude. That's what people buy into. But I thought of him as a mid fighter. After he beat Ben Askren, and after that, it was just like, all right.
Listen, look. We're not mentioning Ben Askren's name. Whatever he did in college, we're going to leave him in college.
Also an Olympic wrestler, bro.
We'll leave him with his Olympic wrestling. The minute he enters into this world of true pugilism, we're going to just not speak about him.
All right, fair.
And Askren, listen, you've done well. Look. You made it from the bottom to wherever you at. We're not talking about
a great wrestler goes.
But what you put out there for the public to consume, getting knocked out by the Paul guy, was it Jake or Logan?
Jake Paul. He got knocked out
by Jake, and then didn't Woodley knock him out?
Or no.
No.
Woodley also got knocked out.
Askren got knocked out the fight before by someone. Who was it that knocked him out?
Well, he fought his last fight in MMA. He was He lost to Damian Maia. He lost like 2 or 3 fights in a row, and then he was just out the UFC. He just hung it, decided to hang it.
We're not going to, we'll say hopefully he'll be a good broadcaster, but that little step, we're just going to leave it alone.
All right.
Period.
Yeah. Who else was on the card? So UFC 290. Oh, Robert Whittaker loses to Dricus du Plessis, the South African.
Oh, gosh. I have an interesting take on Whittaker.
Okay.
Whittaker's a guy, man. He's such a grinder.
Mm-hmm.
His story, his honesty. I mean, just everything about the guy.
He's also a national champion wrestler in Australia. This guy actually got a good wrestling pedigree.
Who's this?
Robert Whittaker. Keep going.
Yeah, and I really, 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 really like Whittaker, but for some reason, man, he's been on the little losing streak.
I mean, he's not on a losing streak. This is the thing. The only people he's lost to in the past 8 years are now du Plessis after this loss with the TKO. Since then it was the TKO, and Israel Adesanya. So before his 2 losses to Izzy, and even after the loss to Izzy, he was winning fights. He was through and through, clearly the second best fighter in the middleweight division up until this point. Now, because du Plessis beat him, he now shoots to number 1. But don't get it twisted. Rob is number 2 And then Izzy's the champ. We got now Duplessis at 1. And I don't want to see Rob fight Izzy again, right? Because he beat him 2 times very, convincingly. This would have been his opportunity to get it back, but he's not going to get it back now because of this L. And now
this is the age-old boxing MMA.
Yeah, right. But and a part of it too is like there's what we call it is like MMA mad, where it's like a lot of the time what'll happen is this guy can beat this guy can beat this guy, and the guy style it's on the style make match. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Styles make fights. And think about Robert's style is he has a very low karate style. But his feet aren't always as wide, whereas Izzy has a very grounded kickboxing style that was able to pick apart what Rob was doing in terms of darting in. Now, Duplessis has a style that's more of a grinding style, which is why he's able to wear you down with what he does and then finish you. And so, to me, when it comes to being able to beat Israel Adesanya, you have to crowd his space. If you give him enough space to start to pick you apart, that's where Hamzat beats him. Hamzat is a significantly better grappler. I think Hamzat can beat him also. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. But Hamzat needs to sit his ass down at 170, try to go, but not there. You wait there. It was one time, bro. He made the weight every other time except for the one time. Twice, didn't he? He struggled, but he made the weight. The only time he didn't make the weight was against Nate Diaz, which is why he ended up fighting Kevin Holland. But he can make the weight at 170. They're talking about him fighting Kamaru, actually. They're talking about him fighting Kamaru. So I think that's the fight for him next. He needs to fight Kamaru at 170. So we're not even talking about him in middleweight. Wait, what does Kamaru naturally fight at? 170. He's a 170. He was a champion at 170. Welterweight, yeah.
Down the weight is 170.
Yeah, 170 pounds. But look, when we talk about middleweights, at the top, we got, Sean Strickland just won. But Sean, I don't think he's there yet to be fighting for a title, but he's up in the mix. He's in the top 5. Alex Pereira is out of the division, even though he just lost.
He's going to light heavyweight?
Yeah, he's going to light heavyweight. So that's who he's fighting. He's fighting Jan Blachowicz, who Izzy lost.
That's a very good fight.
I think that's a great fight. I actually think this is a fantastic fight. It's going to be a barn burner. They both got heavy hands. They both got a lot of power, and this is going to be a really fun fight.
Blachowicz was a little bit more mobile.
Yeah, but the thing about Blachowicz is he's got great hands, and he's a better grappler. So I think that's what gives him
surprisingly butt hands.
I think that Alex is actually stronger. I don't know how that man made 185 pounds. I don't understand it. But he did, so I can't even knock it. And he won the title and then he lost it. And now it's his chance to move up to his real weight, which is 205. This man can fight at heavyweight if he wants to. He walks around like 235 pounds, which is ridiculous.
But you know what? I think that there's something to be said if you crowd him and wrestle him.
Oh yeah, that too. I feel like Hamzat to beat him also. Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna have a lot of trouble with Jan Blachowicz. Again, these striker heavy guys, a lot of the time their kryptonite is with really good wrestlers. I don't doubt that he's not great at defending takedowns. Like Izzy took him down. That in itself shows you that he's gonna struggle. If Jan gets a hold of him, they're both very strong guys. Jan gets a hold of him and gets to the ground, he's going to have a lot of trouble on the ground. Even though he works with Glover Teixeira, I don't think he's doing enough working with Glover Teixeira for him to say, oh, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
It's round game stuff.
Yeah.
And anyone who...
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fantastic fight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's definitely a good fight. I'm looking forward to that.
I want to see Izzy versus Duplessis. Yeah, I want to see him
just because of the controversy.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been going back and forth. They've been yapping. Yeah.
You leave things alone, but if you want to start
the real African. Izzy was upset about that, man. Izzy was very upset about that.
Listen to me. He's going to butcher you.
Not butcher you. I don't think he has enough for Izzy. I think it's going to be a great fight.
You know what, Izzy? Elbows. Box him up. Box him up. They're going to lock him up.
Coaches got the advice for you.
Hey, don't stop him up. Izzy, do that for me. The straighten out that man down.
Right by.
Mash up his mouth. Knock out his teeth. Make sure when he's talking at the podium at the end of the night, his lips is crazy. You got to do that. It's Izzy. For your brother man them in the Caribbean. Understand, we got that Nigerian blood here, we got that Ghana blood here, it's all here. We won.
There you go.
He shouldn't have said what he said. And because he wanted to carry that, mash up his lips, boss up his lips. We're going to make this viral.
Yeah.
We want Izzy to mash up the pussy. But whatever. Duplessis, you want to be the real dude? You going to get your face machine.
Yeah.
Let's mash up your whole mouth. So we're not talking at the end of the fight. Blood is close. That's what we want.
Yo, here.
Yeah, that's what we want.
All right.
Kiss up.
Next on the card, actually, this is when we start to get into the championship fights. Brandon Moreno versus Alejandro Pantoja. Pantoja, for the third time, beat Brandon Moreno, took his title. I thought Brandon was going to be champ for a longer time. His fights between him and Figueiredo were ridiculous. They fought 4 times.
Didn't we argue about Brandon? Wasn't we?
Yeah, but this is the official argument.
Yeah.
This is the
saying. Like, all right, I thought I won that argument.
Listen, Brandon Moreno lost to this man now 3 times. But why do we want to see it again? But the same reason. Well, okay, that 3 times over like a 10-year span though. It wasn't like 3 in close proximity. The issue is Brandon got significantly better. The last time they fought was in 2018. It was a decision victory, and this was a close split decision victory. He's a champion. He should have an opportunity to fight him again, not because he's been beaten by him 3 times, but because he was the champion who had fought Figueiredo 4 times. And again, Brandon had fought other title challengers. He defended his title. He does deserve an opportunity because the fight was so close. But again, it makes it harder.
Hopefully it's part of a pay-per-view, because if it was exclusive, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I understand that. And then with the smaller guys, that's usually what happens. They're not going to bring as much of a draw, which is why you need to put them on a card with another big name.
Don't be talking about Mighty Mouse.
Hey, listen, that's what happened. He wasn't big enough of a draw. No. But also, the UFC wasn't really pushing him. That's really what it was. The UFC wasn't pushing Mighty Mouse.
I was defending the guy.
Which is why One Championship did a good job of doing that with him. With the Mighty Mouse, One Championship did a great job of pushing him. And, now he's at that point where he, what is the other guy that he fought? He now fought this dude 3 times, Mighty Mouse. Versus...
He lost, and then...
No, so he beat him 2 times versus, Adriano, I think his name is, let me see. I think his name is Adriano Moraes. That's what it is. Adriano Moraes is who he fought 4 times.
Next big fight, like, we don't have a big fight in the UFC. Don't we have Gaethje and
Okay, all right. Let's finish 290 and then we'll get to the big fights. Okay, so last fight on the card, Alexander Volkanovski, TKO Jair Rodriguez, right? So Jair got busted up, got dismantled by Volk. Volk is solidifying himself as the best featherweight of all time. I still think Max holds that title, even though he's now. I was convinced to be Max. I love Max Holloway. Max Holloway is my guy, but Volk has shown through and through that he is really one of the greatest. There's a style that can beat Max, and Volkanovski has that style.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay with that. Yeah, he's a boxer. He's not even that great of a boxer, guys. This guy, bro. This guy's always talking about
Matt Holloway is fantastic, bro. He's got great hands. Granted, he does get hit a lot, but Max has great hands. He has fantastic volume. And the thing is, Max's footwork is so solid when he moves and when he's in there and he's picking dudes apart. This is why nobody else in the division can beat him, because he's that good, bro. I respect what he's done. It's not like he's arguably one of the 3 greatest featherweights of all time, bro.
To the top level, and you still got to remember it's MMA. That I think he's a boxer, he's really a boxer in the MMA space, and you're not gonna last.
If you just a pure, he's never been knocked out. He's got a fantastic chin. But look, right? Okay, yeah, hell of a fighter, but yeah, my God, not my. I gotta respect Volk because Volk has shown that you like him because he's small like you. That's what it is. Oh. You like him because of the height. That's what it is. You don't realize it, but you have an implicit bias to niggas under 5'8". Like, I realize this. I could not. He's just like, anybody under 5'8" was a fighter. He's like, oh, like, right, Bud Webb, Isaiah Thomas. Anybody under that height, he's just like, I rock with these niggas, man. They stuff right. But Volk, I mean, look, don't get twisted. Volk is solid. Like I was saying before, this man used to be 215 pounds when he played rugby, cut down, 145 pounder. But you can see he's got that solid frame, and he's so strong. And then he picks dudes apart, whether it be with his striking and even his wrestling, like he did with this last fight with Yair Rodriguez. He just beat him up.
I feel like he provided the blueprint on how to beat Islam.
You know, the thing is, Volk's style is like it's a generic, it's a universal. I won't say generic. It's a universal style where he has he's like, you're building an MMA fighter. His kickboxing is like how you want it as like the default style of a good kickboxer in MMA, right? And for example, like his wrestling defense is like good, like it's like solid to solid good, right? His ground defense, like he was supposed to be submitted by Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega locked in that guillotine, in. He got out of it. He fought out of it. He just refused to quit. So he has those tools that you want in every fighter. And then he's got that true grit fighter attitude, which is what I think wills him through a lot of stuff. Islam, I think the next fight, if they fight again, Islam's gonna start to pull away a little bit because he understood that how good Volk really is now. If Islam was a 145er, I feel like Volk would have won that fight. But Islam's a true 155er, and Volk isn't. Came up, lost that fight, but it was a lot closer than people thought it was gonna.
Yeah, it was a lot closer, and like I said, it exposed certain things about Islam. Now, do you think the Bronx has learned anything? You think he has a chance?
That ain't my guy. I think, and he's not sure. I think he with the win against Beneil Dariush, that's rebuilding his confidence. I think he needs a little bit more time.
Who?
The Bronx. I think Islam needs to fight the winner of Gaethje versus Poirier. He fights after he does that.
Who did he fight?
He hasn't fought either of them.
Really?
Yes. He needs to fight the winner of that, and then he can give Charles the rematch. The thing is, it's just the timeline right now. The timeline is a little bit wonky. What may end up happening is Islam fights Charles, and then if he wins, he fights the winner. And the thing is, Charles has beat both of them, so the only person he would have to fight is Charles has beat both of who? He beat Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje.
See, that's what I thought you said
he didn't. Islam didn't. I said.
Got you.
Islam hasn't fought either of them.
Got you.
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
So yeah. So Charles has fought both of them, and Khabib has fought both of them.
Yeah.
But Islam hasn't fought either of them yet, which is why I think he needs to fight one of them, whoever the winner is. Because other than that, the only person he really needs to fight is Bronx, because Bronx just beat Beneil Dariush. And the winner of, if they fight again, the winner of that can fight Volk if Volk wants to move up again, if he beats Ilia Topuria. I really don't think Volk's going to be able to move up, but if he wants to, he can write his own check right now. So he has the opportunity to do that.
But do we want to see that?
I don't really want to see it. I don't want to.
Like, I appreciate what Volk did, but, you know.
Yeah, but the way he talks about it, he wants to do it again. Like, he feels like he's going to just sweep his division, and then that's why he wants to move up. But I don't think he's good enough in terms of size to deal with being a one-man fight.
He's not. This is not.
Yeah, he did a great job with Islam the first time, but I think the second time, Islam's not going to play with him and just smother him. Exactly. I agree. All right. So you talk about the next UFCs that are coming up. Like I mentioned, we got Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. That's for the BMF title, by the way.
Now listen, that fight right there is a striker's. Like, if you like striking, that's the fight that you want.
If you like those guys, all in. Yeah, these guys, because they can strike. Dustin, okay, when you talk about boxers, Dustin's a fantastic boxer when it comes to MMA.
Yeah.
He's got great hands. He's got heavy hands. He's got big arms. Justin Gaethje, great with the leg kicks, and he likes to bang. He just likes to he likes to throw heavy shots. He's just ready to throw down all the way. These guys fought back in, I want to say 2018.
Fight, right?
Yeah, they fought already. Dustin won the first time. I think Dustin still wins this one, but it's going to be a great fight.
You know, Dustin,